My name is Taylor Hewlett, and today is May 7th of 2017, and I am going to talk to you about the challenges in our job market today. My thesis is the main way to be prepared in our job market is to make sure to be well educated about the issues and what can happen, and also to be well educated about everything that you learn. Throughout this paper, we were supposed to pick attributes and talk about how they were needed to help a person to be successful in our job market today. I chose that it is important to have a good education, to be good at video games, and to have a passion about what you are going to do. Using those, we were supposed to do a self-analysis, and I talked about how I have changed my career path multiple times, and the things that I have been through in my life has changed what I wanted to be and caused me to be a physical therapist. And I also talked about what I was going to do next with my life. Now for some background of the current job market. One of the major issues of today's job market is offshoring, which is the movement of jobs overseas. Blender states that it's not going to be the lack of education for our job market, but it's going to be offshoring. Another issue in today's job market is that the unemployment rate is very high, although it is dropping. Malcolm states in his article that 25 to 29-year-olds sit at a 6.9% unemployment rate, while 20 to 24-year-olds sit at a 10.6%. This is surprising because a lot of people are dropping out of the labor force, according to Heidi. But Capelli disagrees when he states the economy is still shaky and many graduating students are unable to find jobs that pay well if they can find jobs at all. One other issue is that the unemployment, according to the earnings and unemployment rates by educational attainment, depending on what degree you get will depend on how much money you make and how much your unemployment rate is going to be. As stated in the earnings and unemployment rates by educational attainment graph, people with a high school diploma have a 7.5% unemployment rate with earning of $651, and there's not much of a difference between that and not attaining a high school diploma, because not attaining a diploma will only give you a 7.0 unemployment rate and a $727 wage. It's hard for people to find jobs straight out of college due to the fact that there's a high unemployment rate in today's job market. My first job attribute is making sure that you have a good education. Education in today's generation focuses a lot more on time management, creative working, and teamwork. It is important, according to Capelli, that focusing on a very specific field also means that you miss out on courses that might broaden your ability, which is why we should have an education that focuses more on vocational training. My second job attribute is being good at video games. Although this sounds crazy, in Peck's article, multiple people state that in order to get a job, you should have to take a video game, because this will show how you creatively think, how mad you get when something happens, how many mistakes you make, and even your social intelligence and your personality. They all state that this shows more stuff than the SAT scores do. The issue that comes down to this is that, one, it's an advantage for older people because they might not know how to work today's technology, and two, it doesn't show the personal aspects of someone, such as like their loyalty and their trustworthiness and all that stuff. The third and most important attribute is passion. Steve Jobs gave a speech that was given to the class at Stanford, the graduating class, and he said, "You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for your work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to be going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way you can truly satisfy it is to do what you believe is great work, and the only way to do great work is to love what you do." That's very important because people who love their job are most likely to give their job a better name because they are happier and show a positive attitude, versus if you don't like what you're doing, you're going to be miserable and probably not have such a great attitude. My first attribute is to make sure you have a good education. At the moment, I do not have the correct education that I need, but after I finish here at Grayson, I plan on transferring to a 4-year college where I will continue to get my bachelor's degree to be a physical therapist. After I get that degree, I plan on going to get some higher training in order to know the skills and get the skills to be a physical therapist. My second job attribute was making sure that you are able to be good at video games. I believe that I would be able to hold this attribute, but it would depend on what type of game I would be required to play and what type of controls that needed to be used. My third job attribute was passion. I believe that I have the passion to be a physical therapist. Having a good education is very important. While most people say that our education should be focused more on vocational training, I also think that it should focus a lot on general skills needed. If you do vocational training only, you're only training everyone to the job that they need. But with unemployment rates being so wishy-washy, it is important to have the general skills needed for every job. As far as the video games as a job interview, I don't think it's a good idea because it puts older people at a disadvantage. And if you're not good at video games, you're also going to be a disadvantage no matter how many times they try to teach you. As far as passion goes, I think that that is the most important one, because if you don't like your job, then you're going to be miserable, and nobody wants someone who's going to be miserable as a face of their job.